Hello my fellow nerds, my name is Jamie, I'm just trying to live my best nerd life. Today I'm going to be talking about 7th Sector, an indie adventure puzzle game from Sergei Noskov and the team at Sometimes You. I do want to mention that I did receive a review code for this game, so thanks very much for allowing me to access this game on Nintendo Switch before it officially released. With that being said, let's get on with the review. Atmospheric dystopian cyberpunk worlds aren't the most unique setting for any type of media nowadays, be that film, book or video game. In fact, CD Projekt Red apparently wants to corner the neon-tinged market with Cyberpunk 2077. I'm also used to being a rough and tough cyber-enhanced city slicker like Adam Jensen from the Deus Ex franchise, so it was refreshing to play as what seemed to be an entirely digital entity, traversing the many miles of wires strewn about the bright yet grimy Novigrad. The people of this sprawling metropolis have definitely never had any health and safety training, for sure, because the sheer amount of wire laid out on the floor is absolutely a trip hazard. Whilst a danger to any human, those aforementioned wires are the perfect way for our protagonist to move about. It's quite astonishing how much of the city is accessible by travelling this way. It's very much like you are a fly on the wall, spying on the lives of the residents, seeing dark silhouettes in windows going along with their daily lives, or peeking at them through holes in the walls. It very much makes me consider just how connected our lives are now, with masses of wires and cables laying within the walls of our very own cities and towns. Anyway, let's talk about the protagonist of the story. We are first introduced to it, him, her, they, as a shadowy figure trapped inside the staticky confines of an old TV screen. After we take control, we squeeze that shadowy figure into one of the wires connected to the TV and make it take the form of a spark of electricity. That spark can now move freely along any designated wire and can also enter, exit and control a myriad of electrical wall-mounted doohickeys like switches and junction boxes. Movement is done on a 2D plane, despite 7th Sector featuring 3D graphics. And to be honest, a lot of the time I didn't feel quite in control. I was either too slow and sluggish or too skittish. The game never seemed to find a good medium where it came to moving around. One particular puzzle where you have to electrify and overload 2 rotating fans suffered greatly because of this finicky movement. Also, whilst on the menu screen, and during many puzzles, the thumbstick doesn't register any motion I make, so I had to use the direction buttons. I did find out later on that the thumbstick was used for some puzzles, but they are few and far between. It's a small nitpick, but caught me off guard a few times, as the main method of moving your character around is the thumbstick. The puzzles varied wildly in difficulty. Some were as simple as adding up a few numbers to make a desired amount, whilst others were just about moving block puzzles. There are also various different objects that can be possessed, from remote control cars to robotic tank/dog things with a giant machine gun. Thanks to all this variety, 7th Sector is pretty damn challenging and was pretty frustrating at times. If you can get past this frustration by sheer force of will, or by consulting a guide once or twice like I did, the game introduces new ideas that can be layered on top of the basic controls and themes. Much of the world building is delivered via either visual clues or through the form of diegetic sounds. Be prepared to hear lots of television screens popping and fizzing and depositing exposition dumps as you crackle on by. Not to say that this is a bad thing, everything about the game, from the visuals to the sound, comes together well to create a foreboding atmosphere. The atmosphere also makes the world a good one to explore. There's plenty of different environments to come across. One moment you might be sneaking across the rooftops, surrounded by pouring rain, and the next you may just be trundling through a train carriage as a cute little BB-8-esque robot. Exploration is also rewarded thanks to a few collectibles located in each section. As you progress through the game and end up possessing bigger and bigger things, the scope of the world opens up immensely. 7th Sector is a decent quality game. It has plenty of visual flair and invokes some of the best parts of the whole cyberpunk genre. Iffy controls do mar the experience somewhat though. Playing on the TV was perfectly fine, although when playing on handheld mode, some of the letters located on some of the screens scattered around the world were pretty tough to read. I would absolutely recommend this game to someone who is a fan of the cyberpunk genre, and thanks to the multiple endings based on your actions in game, there is some replay value, which is an added bonus. In any case, let me know your thoughts about 7th Sector, dystopian cyberpunk futures, and anything else Nintendo for that matter, down below in the comments. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, then like it and share it with your friends. And if you want to see more videos like this, then don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for your time.